On the morning of 6 February, Turkey and Syria were rocked by the strongest earthquakes seen in the Middle East in a century. A week later, over 34,000 people have been found dead, and public infrastructure worth millions of dollars has been destroyed. With thousands of their citizens made homeless and others in need of emergency relief, the crisis-hit governments of Turkey and Syria sent out a call for help. 30 nations from around the world, including Israel, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Italy, answered that call. Among those countries was India, which has something of a complicated relationship with Turkey. Despite this, in just a week, India has sent 6 aircraft, over 100 disaster relief personnel, and dozens of medical professionals to those countries. To understand why this matters, we have to go back a bit in time. The truth is that India's ties with Turkey have been troubled since India's independence in 1947. There were primarily two reasons for this. First, Turkey was firmly in the Western camp during the Cold War. It joined the American-led North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, in the early 1950s, and later joined the now-defunct Baghdad Pact, which is also an American-led alliance but in the Middle East. Meanwhile, India actively stayed away from alliances under its non-alignment policy, which often caused Western alliances to suspect New Delhi's intentions. Pakistan was another problem. Although nominally a secular country, Turkey was a Muslim-majority nation, and thus moved towards Pakistan. Further, although both countries called themselves democracies, the military held greater control than civilian politicians. Therefore, both countries found themselves allies and also part of US-led alliances in the Middle East. This meant that Turkey turned towards Pakistan's position on sensitive issues like Kashmir over several decades. During the 1962 Sino-Indian conflict, following Pakistan's protest, Turkey refused to send mountain howitzer weapons to India. As part of the Organization for Islamic Cooperation with Pakistan, Turkey condemned India's use of force in Kashmir in 1991 and also questioned India's handling of the Babri Masjid issue in 1993 on Pakistan's request. In 1998, Turkey expressed concerns about India's nuclear tests conducted that year. Needless to say, India pushed back strongly, and its relationship with Turkey suffered. All of this began to change as the Cold War ended and India's economy began to grow. Both sides were looking to build new diplomatic and economic ties and work to put the past behind them. Turkey's Prime Minister Özal visited India in 1986, which was followed by Rajiv Gandhi's return visit in 1988. Ties did especially well in the early 2000s, when a Turkish Prime Minister on visiting India also declined an invitation to include Pakistan on his itinerary. Under this leadership, Turkey also revised its traditional pro-Pakistani stance on Kashmir and called for a bilateral settlement of the dispute, which hewed more towards India's position. With Pakistan in the rearview mirror, India and Turkey began to work together on counterterrorism, technology, and trade. By 2018, India's trade with Turkey increased from $505 million in 2000 to $8.7 billion. That figure is more than 10 times the trade Turkey conducts with Pakistan. However, this phase of friendship began to fall apart starting in 2016. Turkey's President Erdogan's policy of Islamization sought to position the country as a leader in the Islamic world. In practical terms, it meant more support for fellow Muslim nations like Pakistan. When India abrogated Article 370 of its constitution, which had given Jammu and Kashmir special status, President Erdogan brought up the issue at the UN General Assembly. Erdogan doubled down on this policy by reversing Turkey's balanced policy on Kashmir and promising Pakistan his country's support. He also accused India of massacring minorities like Muslims. The reaction from India was swift. In September 2019, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi countered Turkey by holding meetings with the presidents of Cyprus and prime ministers of Armenia and Greece on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. All three countries have historic troubles with Turkey. Modi also cancelled his planned visit to Turkey in October 2019, and a $2.3 billion naval deal with a Turkish defense company was also junked. India cut its defense exports to Ankara while also signing a $40 million defense deal with Armenia. New Delhi also began naval exercises with Greece. However, there were also signs that both countries were looking to improve ties. This change may largely have come from Turkey's side, which has been caught in a worsening economic crisis over the last few years. Inflation rates are sky high in Turkey, and its economic growth rates have taken a hit after the COVID-19 pandemic. As such, Erdogan is desperately seeking partners that can help improve his country's economic situation. With Pakistan nearly bankrupt, Turkey has attempted to reach out to India, In 2021, Turkey dispatched emergency medical equipment to India during the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022, Prime Minister Modi and President Erdogan met after a gap of several years on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. That's why India's Operation Dost to help Turkey after the earthquake has been so important. India's supply of medical equipment, mobile hospitals, search and rescue teams, as well as dog squads have proved extremely important and are already on the ground in Turkey. Not only does it allow India to promote its image as an effective first responder to crises, it is also a step that may help improve ties with Turkey. It seems to have worked. As Indian rescue efforts have continued, Turkey's ambassador in New Delhi, Firat Sunel, praised India's friendship in a time of crisis. While it is unclear if a rapprochement between India and Turkey will last, New Delhi's Operation Dost may prove a decisive step forward for both sides.